Hello and welcome to day 11 of the 16th World Amateur Boxing Championship from Azerbaijan's capital Baku, and the 11th day means it's semi-final day with 10 bouts in this afternoon session and a further 10 this evening to decide who will go through to the finals in tomorrow's last day of action. And for all British boxing fans out there, it promises to be a very special day indeed, with 4 British boxers making the semi-finals and all 4 of them vying to become the second ever British boxer in the history of the sport to claim a World Championship gold medal. So this afternoon we focus on the men's light fly semis, then to the bantamweight, then moving further down into the light welter, middle and men's heavy. Well, it will be electric, the atmosphere out there today, with most of the, or all of these competitors, give or take 1 or 2, qualifying for the Olympics by making the quarterfinals. Now these boxers focusing on World Championship gold. And to get the action underway, well, we go to 2 of the finest boxers in this competition. In the light fly division, you hear the cheers from the crowd. Shiming from China, the Olympic champion and double world champion. Well, Shiming is up against David Ayprapetyan from Russia. Ayprapetyan has looked very strong in the prelims and quarterfinals, but Shiming has the previous history and has the rank against his name. Let's take a look at Ayprapetyan. Well, a silver medalist here 2 years ago at the World Championships when we were in Milan in Italy. But if you look at Shiming's history, twice a world champion and also Olympic gold medalist. From Trinidad and Tobago, our referee for this opening bout of the semi-finals is James Bickles. So red corner, Shiming for China, and the blue, Ayprapetyan. Now this is for a spot in the final and for a shot to box off for the gold at these World Championships. I think it's fair to say Shiming looking very confident, very calm and relaxed in the red corner there. And that's the way that he's approached all of his bouts. He's been so calm, fair to say calculated with his boxing. As for David Ayprapetyan, 2 years the junior, the slightly smaller, 165 centimetres for the red corner in height to 158 centimetres to the blue. So look for the jab. He works very cleverly, Shiming, and uses that height advantage very smartly in his bouts. 3-minute rounds, the name of the game in Amateur World Championship boxing. This is the first of the men's light fly, 46 to 49 kilo category. And let's see if there's any early match nerves here. And Shiming scoring early. Shiming with a good 1-2 and putting points on the board almost in his first strike. Great start for the boxer out of the red corner. And you can sense that there's a little bit of urgency now to David Ayprapetyan's boxing. He knows that Shiming has put the first combination in and has put the first points down on the judge's card. Again, oh! No problems there, not a knockdown. Not allowed to hit to the back of the head, remember. And a warning from the referee to the Russian boxer. Again, Shiming, who uses that height advantage, doesn't like to get in close, doesn't like the infighting. Exactly the opposite for Ayprapetyan, the smaller, more compact boxer. And you can clearly see the tactic, the game plan that the red corner has set out for this bout. He wants to keep the Russian at bay, pick him off with his jab, counter with the combinations. And so far, I have to say, it's all going to plan for Shiming of China. Olympic champion looking good here. Mixing it up nicely as well. Good hook to the body. Right hook Very powerful from Shiming, and again the confidence is high. There's another lovely right hook and a clear scoring blow indeed. Minute to go. And I'm sure you'll agree back home that Shiming started off confidently, and that confidence level is rising. Again. Feints well, allows the hook to make contact. Ayprapetyan is now starting to calculate for himself that he's just got to get a little more busy in this fight. "20 seconds left on the clock. Well, another good point score. Ayprapetyan, there again you see the jab working so effectively, right up close to our camera. There goes the bell, end of the first round. Good start for the Chinese boxer, and goes 4-2 up against Ayprapetyan. Interesting to see the score card there, because I'd have had the Chinese boxer just a little ahead. That's the blow that was on the back of the head, almost the back of the shoulder. These blows just going into the guard. Confirmation that 2-point advantage for the Chinese boxer. And the referee. Well, second round. Oh, and look, there's been some firm words in the corner for the Russian, and he's been told clearly by his coaches in his cornerman that he's got to start picking it up and taking this fight to the Chinese boxer. This is exactly how Shiming has tactically played all of his fights through this competition. Just drawing 2 or 3 clear in the first, 2 or 3 clear again in the second, and then has just kept the boxer at bay for the third. It's a strategy that has been so effective for the Chinese boxer, and the 28-year-old Russian now really trying to speed things up a little bit, try and get inside that cover. But off the front, off the back foot, so quick to work around the ring. And that very fast hook once again. That was one of the main point scorers. Just told not to hit with the inside of the glove. Another warning for Shiming. Well, a great close-up shot there of the fury of the punches. But both boxers putting the guard up, deflecting the punch. Not a lot of point scoring going on, but again, this is how the Olympic champion has played it. And he's frustrating the Russian now in blue. Minute left to go in this second round. And again, Shiming, who's looking for his third world gold medal and world championship title here, is once again controlling the fight. Frustrating Ayprapetyan. And again, out of trouble still after 6 minutes of boxing, and he's as quick now as he was in the opening exchanges. Again, Shiming, for me, is controlling the second round. Again, be careful. No blows allowed to the back of the head. And the lead is extended. A huge cheer from the crowd. It's 10-4 now to Shiming, and mission accomplished. This is exactly how he played his quarter-final. It's exactly how he progressed through the preliminaries. Good work from both boxers, but he's hitting the target, Shiming, and he's getting himself out of trouble still at lightning speed. Well, third and final round, 3 minutes for the Russian boxer to try and put something very special together indeed. He's trailing by 6 points, and to score 6 in 3 minutes against the Olympic and double world champion will take something very special indeed. David Ayprapetyan, who's just been outboxed, he's been courageous as he has been throughout this tournament. He's not afraid to mix it, he's not afraid to get in there, but the problem is that the skill of the jab and the counter-attack from the Chinese boxer, particularly with that right hook and uppercut, has just kept David Ayprapetyan at bay. Just when you think Ayprapetyan's starting to get some good infighting going, away goes Shiming. And the boos are from the Azerbaijani fans in the crowd. They're supporting the Russian, understandably, but this is the tactic that's worked so effectively for Shiming, and he's played the same set of cards in the semi as he did in the quarters. Again, Ayprapetyan has just got to be careful dropping his hands there, because the jab is quick, as is the hook. Good combinations, both boxers working well. Absolute commitment right to the end of the challenge. 1:30 left on the clock. But remember, the Russian in blue needs to score more than 6, and that's if Shiming doesn't score at all. And there may be a bit of frustration from the crowd, but this is exactly what Shiming wants to happen. You can see the frustration for the young Russian boxer. Himself, a World Championship medalist in Milan 2 years ago, took the silver, beaten by Serdamba of Mongolia. But unless something really sensational happens now in the last 40 seconds of this third round, it's going to be bronze in 2011 for Ayprapetyan. That's a little more like it. Finally getting through. Warning from the ref for just pulling the head down to Ayprapetyan. And again, changing direction, bobbing, weaving, front foot to back foot, out of the way, then retaliating or counter-punching, as we should say. Possibly the last exchange now, and the last hope for David Ayprapetyan. The crowd count down the clock, that's the end. Great respect from both athletes, from both boxers for each other, but it's difficult to back or bet against the Chinese boxer in the red corner. And again, skillful boxing. At 30 years of age, he knows the sport and he knows the art well. And coming in with a 6-point advantage after the second round. Even the most willing of boxing fans would not mark Ayprapetyan ahead of Shiming. Five judges scoring the bout. The lowest and high score is disregarded and the mean average of the 3 is taken. It couldn't be a more fair point system. Shiming, 15 points to 8, comfortably. Goes through to the final of the men's light fly division. Another very skillful performance from the Olympic champion. An excellent demonstration of amateur boxing. Scoring points in both the first and the second and the third, taking all 3 rounds against a silver medalist from 2009, David Ayprapetyan. Second semi-final in the men's light fly. What a thrilling opener to this afternoon's action. And this promises to be equally as entertaining. Shin of Korea in a rematch of the Asian Games final. And there's a chance here for Serdamba Purevdorj of Mongolia. Well, the defending champion, remember, in this weight category, the gold medalist from 2009, to maybe seek a little bit of revenge. So, very interesting bout indeed. There is the Korean boxer in the blue, of course. And the Mongolian in the red. It wasn't that long ago, the Asian Games. Here's Purevdorj. That's the key bit of the graphic that you really want to focus on right at the bottom. 2009 World Championship gold medalist. And this young man is not going to let that championship title go without putting up a fight. But, and it is a huge but, winning the Asian Championships, Shin also knocked out Purevdorj in that competition and knocked him out in style. Not to knockout, but put him out of the contest, 25-16. So, Shin, who is ranked 2, is definitely the boxer to watch out for here. Sinar, our Turkish referee, responsible for the boxers in this bout. Second semi-final of the men's light fly. Confirmation. Purevdorj in the red for Mongolia. Shin Yong for Korea in the blue corner. Both boxers have had exceptional championships. Let's talk a little bit about their statistics. 26-year-old against a 22-year-old. The older of the two, the Mongolian boxer. In the red, of course. Shin, 22 years of age, but slightly taller of the two boxers. In the blue for Korea. Now, as we saw in the opening semi-final, Shiming of China started putting points on the board very quickly indeed. and that gave him the advantage almost through the competition, and it looks to be the same tactic from the Mongolian. Out of the red corner, Shin, blue. Last time these two boxers met, Shin got the upper hand. He's got a slightly taller frame and reach. Shin in blue. He's also got a pretty powerful right hand as well. Watch carefully for that. Good work with the jab. Well, Shin in blue was a bronze medalist at the 2009 World Championships. Lost to David Ayprapetyan, who's just lost to Shiming in the semi-final. So an indication that the ranking system speaks for itself, has worked well at these World Championships now. And confidence is there, isn't it, from the Korean in blue. Started well. A little bit of caution, which we've seen many times in the opening rounds, but here's Shin on the attack. Combinations. Putting that left jab out. Just under a minute to go in this opening round. Evenly matched. But Shin putting in that little bit more work. Purevdorj happy to sit back and try and counter the attack from the Korean. Oh, and there's a nice little score there with the hook from the Mongolian in red. Good right hook. And again. Well, the Mongolian is just starting to demonstrate now that he's maybe knocked out of the Asian Games by his opponent today, but that's behind him. Good start for both boxers in this opening round of three here. Evenly matched, and the judges agree. 4-4 for the Mongolian and Korean seed 2. The 2 and 3 seed here. Battling it out for a spot in the final. Who's going to meet Shiming? Jong, ranked 2, up against the defending champion, Serdamba. Purevdorj from Mongolia. 4-4, couldn't be any closer. Couldn't be any more evenly matched, these two boxers. Slightly different styles. Much more compact boxer, the Mongolian. Very fast with the hands, trying to use that long jab. Korean in blue. Both boxers know that now is the time to try and draw clear. Absolute respect for each other. Out of the ring. The cheers from the Mongolian supporters, thinking that that was a point score, thinking that he'd hit the target there. Not quite sure it was. Again, very close. Coming up to the halfway point in this second round of 3, and the dilemma for the boxer is not to risk too much for fear of a counter. And when you're still 4-4, or if you want to say at 0-0, no points, we're level, it's the risk of just making an error and losing it purely because you gamble just a little too much. Oh, that seemed to go through the guard. And it looks to me that the Mongolian is now starting to make his mark. And again, good blow there. The Mongolian in the red is starting to look a lot more confident, certainly warmed up. And looking for that revenge from the Asian Games. He was absolutely devastated to be knocked out in the preliminary rounds. Again, very close. Looks like the winner of this second round will be the clock, because we're at 23 seconds. Shin so quickly, as soon as the referee says box. Looking to get on the attack, but for the Mongolian. Oh, there's a good jab. Good jab from Shin there. With the left hand, it's all loose. It's very fast. There he goes, end of the second round. Well, close maybe, but those jabs working for Shin. 11-7 clear now, drawing 3 points clear. Four-point advantage for the Korean. Shin Chung-hun is the correct pronunciation. And that is a healthy margin going into the third and final round. This is the defending champion, the red corner, who's now got a lot to find. And again, this is the way that the little slip there, not the blow from the blue corner. And for me, well, the Mongolian defending champion just needs to start now, maybe taking a risk or two. It's got to take it. Holding and a blow to the back of the head. You can see the urgency from the Mongolian, wants to get straight back into it. He knows now that after that second round, an impressive second round from the Korean, he's got to raise his game. Very quick still. After 6-7 minutes, the Korean still on his toes, still working well. Good wide stance, but from the front to the back foot, in a similar style to Zhu Shiming from the opening bout. Able to so quickly get himself out of trouble, and again, some good close blows there. Past the halfway stage of this third and final round. And again, Shin Chung-yun, the Korean second seed. Is taking control of this fight. Well, for Serdamba, the Mongolian boxer, it's starting to go against him as it did in the Asian Championships. Both boxers tangled up, tripping over each other. No infringement there. Clock stops if you look carefully at the graphic on the left of your screens. And until the referee says box, the clock then starts ticking away again. A minute for the defending world champion from the 2009 Championships in Milan, Italy, to turn this bout around. Trailing by 4. And the Korean again with another good hook. The jab is fast and the right hand as quick in this third round as it was in the first. He's got the boxing skills and he's got some impressive stamina as well. Good one too from Shin Chong-yun of Korea, looking to book himself a spot in the final of the men's light fly division here. Just watch the height of the blows, the referee tells the Korean. There's a good combination from Purevdorj of Mongolia. But is it all too late? Good jab again from Shin Yong-chung. And again, these are good punches from the Korean right towards the end. The final blows from the defending champion. Possibly all in vain. Celebrations have already started, haven't they? He knows he's done it. But the turning point came in the second round. We've been saying this throughout these championships. You're not looking for a knockout. It's not about having one good round. It's about setting it up and then carrying those point scores through from 1 to 2 to 3. And that's exactly what Shin Chong-hun has done for Korea. If you're a gambling man, I suggest you put your money on the blue here. And there it is, confirmation. Shin Chong-hun of Korea will join Zhu Shiming of China in the final of the men's light fly category. And that will be contested here tomorrow at the Heydar Aliyev Sports and Concert Complex in Baku, Azerbaijan. Confirmation 4-4, very close at the beginning. Shin takes the advantage in the second round and takes the third 9-4 to go through to the final of the men's light fly division. Well, moving on to the next bout and moving up a weight division to the bantamweight boxers at 56 kilos. And this is the first of 4 British boxers that are hoping to book themselves a spot in the final here in Baku, Azerbaijan today. On your screens is Luke Campbell, the young lad from Hull in the north of England, coached by Mike Bromby. A very stylish southpaw is young Luke Campbell. And going up against Ireland's finest, also a World Series boxing fighter. He fights for Paris United, this new boxing tour that has been created and a great success after its first year. And I think the reason why we mentioned the WSB with John Nevin is that he's a part of the Paris United team that actually won the title for 2010 and $500,000 to go with it as well. Now, the 22-year-old Irish boxer goes up against Campbell, who's now 24 years of age. The English boxer in the red. Well, he's coming back from an injury that he sustained in 2009 at Luke Campbell. Nevin, good consistent results throughout the major international competitions coming into this event in 2011. and, of course, Nevin, a bronze medalist in the World Championships of 2009. Well, a rematch of the European Senior Championships of 2009, and Nevin got the better of Campbell there, but Nevin has said in interviews to the press that he sees Campbell as a better boxer now. This will be a very closely fought battle. Now, he beat the number 1 seed, Campbell, to get to these semis. Delian Dalekiev, 16-14. Now, you'll see the two differences in styles. Campbell is a busy, compact fighter. Turned 24 at the start of these World Championships. As for Nevin, very much the golden boy of Irish boxing. And a rising star. First ever Irish boxer to win now, no matter what the outcome of this bout, 2 World Championship medals at this level. So Nevin's already got his place in the Irish boxing record books. And Campbell, of course, is looking to do the same. Just one British boxer to have won a World Championship gold. Frankie Gavin, 26-year-old southpaw out of Birmingham, took the gold in the lightweight 4 years ago, I should say, in 2007. Failed to make the weight at the Beijing Olympics, going into the Olympic competition as the hot favourite. A nightmare that many boxing fan from the United Kingdom would like to forget. Campbell looking the more confident of the two in the early exchanges. They know each other well. They fought many times before in national and international competition. But is that 13-2 defeat in Denmark playing in the back of the mind of Luke Campbell? It was in Denmark in 2009 in a semi-final at the European Championships. And for John Nevin, well, a much more rounded boxer, I'd say, these days. The experience that he's picked up in the World Series of boxing against semi-professionals from 12 different teams from all over the world, and that experience teaches you how to deal with contrasting styles. But Campbell, a proud father of his young son Leo, partner Lindsay, watching very carefully here. Interesting. Oh, there's a good 1-2, and that's exactly what Campbell needed. Both of those were scoring punches. Great start from the English boxer. Accurate. Oh, but the response from Nevin is a lovely hook to the chin of Luke Campbell. Very close start. The young lad who was often referred to as the golden boy of English boxing before sustaining his hand injury. They often refer to Campbell as the boy who's in the gym, first in and last out, and that hard work is now starting to pay off for Luke. But some good exchanges. For me, the English boxer possibly just ahead of Nevin, but he'll be close. And there is the confirmation. Luke Campbell 4-3 ahead of John Nevin from Ireland. 1 point ahead. What's in it? Both boxers will treat this second round with just as much caution and naturally respect for each other. The performance director from the GB squad, Rob McCracken, has often said that Campbell is the benchmark of the GB team. And so far, so good. The English boxer in red, the Irish boxer in the blue. Nevin knows that he needs to raise his game just a little and starts aggressively. Good exchanges right at the start of this second round. Just a slightly longer reach, Campbell. 2 years the senior to John Nevin, 24 years of age to 22. Oh, again, lovely work with the hook. And that's exactly the way Luke Campbell won his semi-final. Taking out the world number one. It's given the English boxer all the confidence that he needed. And again, another good shot. That right hand, such an effective weapon for Campbell. Nevin. Just seems to be getting a little frustrated. Oh, both boxers there, but I think it's Nevin that came out with the jab right to the head of Campbell. Southpaw leading with the right. And yeah, Nevin happy to stand and trade. But Nevin, and certainly his corner, will know that he needs to not only score, but score. He's got a good shot. Again, very, very evenly matched. A lot of nerves from the British camp. And again, good jab work from Campbell. And he's getting through the Irish guard. And a lovely little left hook there, straight to the side of the head. Again from Luke Campbell. Just needs to watch he doesn't get caught here. A lot of experience for John Nevin, as we said earlier, member of the Paris United World Series of Boxing team. And whilst he's been boxing with boxers all over the world, he's also used to boxing 5 rounds, not 3. And he'll have a lot left in the reserve tank going into that third and final round. And Campbell shouldn't get too carried away just yet. But the English boxer has put in some good work here. There's the jab working well for the Irish boxer. But the hook equally as effective for Campbell in red. Good combination there from Luke Campbell. Let's see what the judges made of it. Just 1 point ahead, and it's Nevin's round. So they're all square going into the third and final round. My, oh my, this has got every one of the Irish and the English camps on the edge of their seats. 6-5 to John Nevin, taking that round. Third and final round of 3 minutes. The English boxer, Luke Campbell, comes out of the red corner. John Nevin, one of Ireland's most successful boxers of all time, in the blue. Both of these boxers looking for a spot in the finals to be contested here in Azerbaijan tomorrow. Both of these boxers, for the first time in their amateur careers, looking to take World Championship gold. Oh, unable to connect there for Campbell. As we've been saying throughout these championships and throughout our coverage, both of these boxers qualifying for the 2012 London Olympics. Nice combination there for Campbell. Good work with the jab. That's where most of the point scoring has been coming from the English boxer. Oh, and that looked to be a good punch from me. From John Nevin in blue, through the guard of Campbell with the right hand. Trying to work the body punch as well. Needs to speed it up a bit, Campbell. Needs to put in a couple of combinations here. He's just standing off. There's a good jab. Counter from the English, and there's another good one too. These are point-scoring punches from the English boxer in red. 1 minute left on the clock. It's very close, as expected, as predicted at the start of this match. Oh, good blows and good exchanges from both boxers. Now is the time for Campbell to put together 2, 3. Again. Good work with the left hand for Campbell there. And again, the southpaw just now trying to keep out of trouble, picking off his punches, picking up the points. Count it down with us because it's 7-6-5. Very close. I've just got the English boxer ahead. But I had them all square for the round of 2. That's over. That will be very close indeed. It'll be a point, maybe 2, that separate them. And it's one of those situations where you're happy to be in the commentary box and not part or one of the judges. Of course, the judging system is as transparent as possibly can be, and is by far the finest system that the world of boxing has had for a long time. Good shot there of Luke Campbell taking the head guard off. 24-year-old from the St Paul's Club in Hull, coached by Mike Bromby. Will it be England? Will it be Ireland going into the finals of the men's bantamweight division? And it's Campbell that goes through. He's absolutely delighted and every reason to be so. The first of the 4 British boxers out there today. Mission accomplished. Into the final. 12-12. He's taken it. And disappointment for John Nevin of Ireland. But it is Luke Campbell that goes through to the final of the men's bantamweight division. Who's going to join Luke Campbell in the final of the men's bantamweight division? Well, Cuba go up against Tajikistan, and the Tajikistani boxer here has already reason to celebrate because this young man, Anvar Yusunov, seeded 6 coming into this World Championship, had a fantastic day here yesterday in the draft for the World Series of Boxing. The young Tajikistan boxer was one of the hottest properties that the 12 teams were looking for. He was one of the first picks to be made. And, well, he is absolutely delighted, Yusunov, to be heading off to the World Series of Boxing and boxing for Moscow Dynamo. 24 years of age. Very much a rising star, as is the country of Tajikistan in the sport of boxing. Most importantly for this young lad, the Asian Championships #1 in Incheon. Took top spot there, beat Otkandali to take that gold medal. And the Cuban, in these major championships, they bring a new name at every one. And this year it's Lazaro Alvarez, 20-year-old out of Havana, and earned his spot to these World Championships by winning in great style, I have to say, the 2011 Pan American Games qualifier. So, understandably, The more experienced of the two is Yusunov, 3 times a national champion, a competitor at the Olympics of 2008. This is his 3rd World Championships. But let's look carefully at Alvarez. Yusunov in the red. Alvarez for Cuba in the blue corner. And Alvarez, I should say, excuse me, Alvarez is unbelievably fast with his combinations. Lightning speed. But of course, Yusunov, a seasoned campaigner. He's got a very, very good guard, and he's got an equally effective counter-attack as well, as you see just there. And Yusunov, brimming with confidence, having been the star pick of yesterday's WSB draft, picks off some nice early points against the Cuban. Cuban seems to have a slightly better reach, certainly taller, and a standoff style. No major upsets in the pathway for these two boxers to get to these semi-finals. Both have looked good, both have scored consistently. Yusunov doing some good blocking work there. And Yusunov, he's done his homework here. He's clearly done his homework on the style of Alvarez, because he's keeping out of trouble. Good jab work, and I'm sure Yusunov is determined to prove to his new team and teammates that he is a worthwhile selection. And of course, the World Series of Boxing, the semi-professional tour, no head guards, no vests, and it kicks off in early November around the world with the 12 teams all matched up against each other. And as we said in our last bout, 5 rounds rather than 3. If you get a chance to catch it, I would highly recommend. The Cuban still, as always with the Cuban boxers, the most successful nation in the history of the Amateur World Boxing Championships. And it all began in Cuba, fittingly so, back in 1974 in Havana, where the gentleman from the blue corner boxes out of. Well, young Alvarez looking to emulate Felix Savant, perhaps the best amateur boxer of all time. Very closely matched. I think it's fair to say it'll be interesting to take a look at some of the slow-mo replays. Yusunov certainly scoring the points early on in the bout, but the Cuban certainly not affecting his confidence, not flustered by it at all. Let's wait for the graphic that gives us the official scores. Again, flurry of punches and combinations, but not getting through the block of the Cuban boxer. There's the jab that's picking off the points. Let's see if we can see. Oh, and there, lovely work from the jab and a good hook. As expected, very close, 3 each. No changes, or no advantage, I should say, going into the second round. And I think this is going to be the manner of the day. This is the way it's going to start unfolding through most of these semi-finals. The boxers evenly matched. Very similar start to this first round as in the previous semi-final, where Luke Campbell just in the third and final round got the better of Nevin from Ireland. And Yusunov crouching, trying to tempt in the Cuban. Not sure whether the corner will think that Yusunov is maybe showing Alvarez a little bit too much respect, but his jab and his hook, his main point scorer at the moment. Alvarez with a big right hook. Now, both boxers. Yusunov now. Starting to look for a few more. Good jab. Good counter jab there from Tajikistan boxer. Again, these two are so evenly matched. Alvarez so desperate to try and get those combinations working. But where you have to give Anvar Yusunov credit where it's due. His defense is so quick. And he's denying the Cuban the opportunity to hit that target. That's a little bit more like it from Alvarez. It's getting through. The counter. And it's the counter-attack that's working so well for the red corner. Combinations coming fast and thick here now from the Cuban. Just over 40 seconds to go on this second round. Just like the first, good exchanges from both. Better work from Alvarez. End of the second round. Closer. Better finish in that second round for the Cuban. Tying, remember, in the first at 3 points each. There's a good strike and a good counter from the red boxer. There was one exchange which, a flurry of punches, I think it's this one. There's a good 1-2. There's the, again, from the Cuban. Now, a lot of punches thrown, not all of them scoring, but certainly a couple were. Let's see how the round looks after 6 minutes or 2. Well, trouble now. What a great round for Lazaro Alvarez of Cuba, drawing 2 points clear now at 10-8. And the new kid on the block to the World Series of Boxing, Anvar Yusunov, has got work to do. He may have taken the Asian Championships earlier this year in great style, but the newcomer from Havana, as so often isn't the case, they just have this ability to produce boxer after talent after talent, and it looks like they've provided us with another. And with that 2 point advantage now, Lazaro Alvarez is looking a little more confident, isn't he? The urgency, understandably so, switched to the red corner. And the boxer in blue, who's leading for Cuba, just needs to put together some of those fast. And there they are again. That's a lovely 1-2. Great combination from the Cuban. Fair to say, Yusunov retaliates as quickly as possible. Good exchanges from both boxers. But it's the total of the 3 rounds. And being 2 ahead means that more work needs to come from Yusunov of Tajikistan. Oh, a thundering right there from the Cuban. And this could be the first upset of the semi-finals. It's all pretty much gone to script and plan so far. But with 1 minute 20 left on the clock, Anvar Yusunov As we said at the beginning of this competition, the star of the World Series of Boxing draft here 24 hours ago is up against it with this talented young Cuban. Again, those fast hands that we were talking of, still. And another good combination, jab and hook. And again, Alvarez is putting these points together. Small warning there from the referee for holding for Yusunov. "30 seconds left on the clock. And Anvar Yusunov, Asian champion, Asian Games champion, now starts to try and show his strength. He's not getting through the guard, is he? Alvarez looking a little tired towards the end of this bout. Is that an opportunity for the red corner to get back into it? 3 seconds left. There goes the bell. What a great fight from the youngster, the least experienced of the two boxers in the second semi-final of the men's bantamweight. And I've got the Cuban ahead here in the commentary box. And let's see if the judges agree. And he's through. The youngster from Cuba continues to turn heads and rewrite the record books. A great performance. He's done it again. He's been knocking out seeded boxers throughout the whole of this competition. 18-13. Ranked 6, Anvar Yusunov goes out in the semi-finals. Will have to settle for the bronze, as Lazaro Alvarez of Cuba will go up against Luke Campbell in the final of the men's bantamweight here in Baku tomorrow. Light welter is the next weight division, semi-finals to be contested, and here's the next of the British boxers. He's up against Berinchyk from the Ukraine. It is Thomas Stalker. These light welters coming in at 64 kilos, and this will not be an easy task for Thomas Stalker. World University Games champion in 2010, Denis Berinchyk. And here is Stalker in the blue, the 27-year-old out of Liverpool, boxing for Salisbury ABC. Silver medalist in the recent European Championships in Ankara in Turkey. Lost to Raymond Moillet of Ireland there, 18-10. And of course, Commonwealth Games gold medalist in 2010. Well, it's been rather an emotional roller coaster ride for Thomas Stalker here at these championships. His first task was to get to the quarterfinals and that magic Olympic qualification, because he missed out in Beijing to Frankie Galvin, who qualified just before him. Nothing more simple than that. And for Thomas Stalker, of course, the British boxer, a little bit of a wild child as a youngster, but boxing soon sorted out his wayward ways. And again, a boxer that has improved over the years, determined to make the London 2012 Olympics. That box has now been ticked, and the next challenge for the British light welterweight is to get to the finals and try and add World Championship gold to his ever-increasing list of accolades. So the British-English boxer here at these World Championships, Thomas Stalker, is in the blue. Denis Berinchyk of the Ukraine is in the red corner. 3 3-minute rounds. The name of the game in amateur boxing. We've already seen Campbell go through. Can Stalker do the same? Well, already Stalker doesn't want any infighting, wants to keep Berinchyk. Stop pushing the referee. A caution from the referee. 180 centimetres, 5 feet 10 from Houghton near Liverpool. Very solid build, the Ukrainian. He's a big hitter. Very powerful puncher. Berinchyk in the red, of course. Oh, just a little slip there, just a little caught off balance. Stalker. Moving up from lightweight to light welter. And it's his height being the main reason to that. And he needs to use that height now, use his jab. Try not to get caught by the infighting of the smaller, stockier fighter, because that's exactly how Berinchyk won his quarter-final. It's exactly how Berinchyk surprised many, coming through the prelims easily. He loves the infighting. And Stalker must not let Berinchyk dictate the fight here. And again, the uppercut and the hook, both working well for the Ukrainian. And it's not a great start for the English boxer. He's going to have to dig deep here right now. And we saw from the start of this first round that clearly the team tactic, the instruction from the ring was for Stalker to keep him on the jab. And now he's allowed Berinchyk to make it a close, uptight fighting contest. And that suits the Ukrainian, and you can see it's not suiting Stalker's style. Use the jab, use the height. That's a good uppercut there, getting through the guard of the Ukrainian from Stalker. Better. Oh, the punches and the combinations working well again. And Stalker has got to counter here. 30 seconds left on the clock to bring the first round to a close. And again, he's getting through the guard. All of the punches are working well for the Ukrainian. Just a little caution. Good jab again from Berinchyk. And it works so much better when he can just stand off from the Ukrainian. Not the best of starts for Thomas Stalker by our calculation here in the commentary position. I've got the Ukrainian ahead. We'll see if the judges agree. Started off well, started off with a clear plan, focused on how he was going to achieve that goal. Then the boxer from the Ukraine started bringing it in close and putting in some very powerful punches. Caught a little off guard, I think, and confirmation. Berinchyk goes 2 ahead of Thomas Stalker. And the pressure now on the English boxer out of the blue corner. Must work the jab better. Try and keep out of the close infighting. Work a little quicker around the ring. Because the powerful hitting Berinchyk is starting to put a dent in the armoury of Thomas Stalker. Commonwealth champion. Well, he's taken the advice from the corner and he's speeding it up. Oh, but a big uppercut there from Berinchyk again. And it stops Thomas Stalker's combinations. He really does have a powerful right hand, the Ukrainian. There it is again, you see. Oh, Stalker's in trouble here. The English fighter digs deep. But the Ukrainian keeps coming at him. There again, the uppercut. Oh, a great combination from Berinchyk. Credit where it's due. And the Ukrainian boxer is out, gunning the English in blue here. That's a little better exchange from Thomas Stalker. Not every one of those punches is scoring for the Ukrainian, but 1 in 3 definitely is. That's right on the chin. That's a better again. Left, right from Thomas Stalker. It's been relentless from the Ukrainian. He hasn't stopped swinging. He hasn't stopped punching throughout the whole of these 3 minutes. And again, a good combination from the Ukrainian. And Stalker starting to feel the pace and the punishment now. Keep that guard up, Thomas. "25 seconds left on the clock. And Berinchyk still putting those combinations together. The counter. Again, that uppercut. Right underneath the guard. And again, those punches are going through. The bell goes to bring the second round to an end. Couldn't come soon enough, I sadly have to report, for the English boxer. And for me, this bout has been won by the Ukrainian in the red by brute force and power. Just looking the much stronger, harder hitting boxer of the two. And Stalker has the skills, he's putting in the punches, but he's just unable to take the power and brutality of these punches from the Ukrainian in red. This compact, almost mauling style from Berinchyk. And there you see him just taking the best out of Stalker. The judges' scores coming through. And confirmation. Berinchyk takes the first round 8-6, the second 12-8, and goes into the third and final 3 minutes. 6 points clear of Thomas Stalker. It'll be interesting to see if Berinchyk changes tactic here and just keeps out of trouble and leans on that 6-point advantage to take him through to the finals. And you don't need me to tell you, do you? Thomas Stalker needs to box out of his skin right now to try and save this match. Oh, and again, another solid right hand from the Ukrainian. Here come the combinations. Well, the British camp have reason to celebrate as Luke Campbell has made the final, but it's looking very unlikely now. And I'm not sure who's going to be able to stop Denis Berinchyk. He's only 23 years of age, putting in some impressive performances in his first World Championship competition. But the power And the work rate behind those powerful punches has been so impressive. Stalker, a stylish boxer, fast, but he's just been stunned by both the jab, the uppercut and the hook. Just need to get the head guard sorted out there, Stalker. And the referee, right on top of it, sees it clearly. Still focused on the toss, Berinchyk. The glare in the eyes of the Ukrainian. He's just not going to stop punching until the bell goes. That's a better 1-2 from the English boxer. There's still something in the reserve tank from Thomas Stalker, but he's got so many points to catch up. Two of the British boxers in action in this evening's session. Campbell has gone through to the final of the bantamweight. But unless Stalker can find a magical final minute, sadly, the light welter boxer from Hull will be looking at a bronze medal and not given a shot at gold. Again, the combination punches are going through the defence of Stalker. This Ukrainian is incredibly strong. And again, like a machine, the combinations keep pummeling the guard of Stalker. And when one or two get through, the guard gets dropped and the points are scored. Another 1-2 combination through the defence, and the Ukrainian has comfortably taken this surely. Again, the right hook hits the target for Berinchyk. A good vocal contingent of Ukrainian supporters in the crowd, counting the clock down, and they know that Berinchyk is the first, surely, of the men's light welter qualifiers. It's a bronze medal for Thomas Stalker. Berinchyk goes through to the final. The question now, who will the Ukrainian meet? It's an emphatic performance and an emphatic victory. 31 points to 18. Disappointment for the English boxer. What a magical performance from the Ukrainian. And in this kind of form, this man will take some stopping in the final. 8-6, 12-8, 11-4. A total of 31 points to 18. A great win for Berinchyk from the Ukraine.
And this is Castle Chalice now taking over the commentating duties for my broadcasting partner Nick Fellows here in Baku, Azerbaijan at the Heydar Aliyev Sports Complex. This is the second half of the afternoon's boxing. We will have this next and final bout in the 64 kilogram weight class Then we'll get 2 in the 75 and 2 in the 91, and that'll wrap it up for this afternoon's session. This next bout will pit a Brazilian against an Italian. The Brazilian, Everton Lopes, also known as Everton dos Santos, 23 years old, ranked 38 in the world by AIBA, as well as being a member of the Los Angeles Matadors, the World Series of Boxing Semi-Pro League, and Vincenzo Mangiacapre, ranked 24 in the world, 22 years old, from Italy. Lopes, also an Olympic participant in the 2008 Summer Games in Beijing, where he lost to Asylbek Talisbayev in the first preliminary round. Brahms, Skarmach, Asanu, Germain, and Lorado are the judges for this contest. Dos Santos, a 2-time Brazilian national champ, got the gold last year here in Baku at the World Series of Boxing test event. Jumani Yazov will be the referee for this contest. Dos Santos also grabbed gold this year at the World Military Games in Rio de Janeiro. Mangiacapre getting his head guard checked here in the corner. Took first at the Italian Junior National Championships. In his last bout here in this tournament, he eliminated number 2 Monk Erdin Uranchimeg of Mongolia. So both of these boxers have had an interesting tour of duty to get where they are today, and as boxing picks up here in the first round, the center of the ring, you see Mangiacapre boxing in the orthodox style. Dos Santos in the southpaw. Should make for an interesting stylistic matchup, as it often does. May want to keep an eye out for the 2 lead feet of the boxers. In this case, it's the left of Mangiacapre, the right of Dos Santos. Often becomes a chess match as to which boxer better equipped to keep their foot on the outside of the opponent's lead leg. Makes for much easier access around the ring and to avoid some of the opponent's bigger shots. You see that cuffing hook of a left by Mangiacapre, and back comes Dos Santos with a right of his own. Dos Santos, a seemingly taller boxer by just a tad, may create a petite tactical advantage for him, as he could box on the outside and pick off his opponent, potshot him, choose when to engage and when not to. Mangiacapre probably going to need to figure out a way to use the speed and his feet to get inside that long jab of Dos Santos and get some good work done to the body. So far it's fairly even through the first half of this round. Most of the boxing taking place in the center of the ring, which is where we like to see it. You see that right hand of Dos Santos. He's keeping it very low, not a good place. It's against all the rules of fundamentals in this sport of boxing, particularly at the amateur level. But then again, Dos Santos must be doing something right. He's gotten this far. This is the semifinal round. He's already secured himself a berth to the 2012 Olympic Games in London. He's now fighting for the pride, the bragging rights of world champion here in Baku. The referee going to caution Dos Santos to keep his head up while boxing. And now you see Mangiacapre come through with a right hand. It partially blocked. The left hook misses its mark, falls short. Mangiacapre going to really need to bring the action to Dos Santos, who seems to be the more active boxer by a hair through this first round. A lunging Mangiacapre, and again, doing a good job is Dos Santos, using his lateral movement to circle away from the hard-charging Mangiacapre. And there's a nice little tussle in the center of the ring. A good body shot by Mangiacapre, partially blocked by the elbow. And see how well Dos Santos keeps his guard tight. His hands are up when he is engaged in a defensive tactic. His elbows are in, protecting his rib cage and protecting from those otherwise scoring points that Mangiacapre would tend to enjoy, but not for that great defense of Dos Santos. So that's the end of round 1. It was very close. As I say, the Brazilians seem to be the slightly busier boxer through the first round. It'll be up to the judges to decide who scored the cleaner, more accurate blows about the face and body of his opponent. There's a nice lead right jab by Dos Santos as Mangiacapre finds himself with his back in the corner. And there's a lunging left. You see how the shorter arms of Mangiacapre are going to create a tactical disadvantage for him unless he figures out a way to get in close. The shorter boxer, as is always the case, it needs to get inside the long arms of the taller boxer. And there you have it after one round, the score 4-3 in favor of Everton Dos Santos, the Brazilian boxer. Dos Santos was able to score an RSC in the third round of the first bout in this tournament over Mikhail Sirowatka of Poland. And then in the last round, or the last bout rather, in the round of 16, he eliminated number 3 ranked Gyula Kate of Hungary, whom he retired in the third round. Dos Santos has been averaging about a 12-point lead over his opponents throughout the duration of this tournament. And here comes Mangiacapre coming back, trying to grab that 1 point and more in this round. You do not want to go into the third round down on points. It is a bad place to be. It is a ditch from which you will need to dig yourself out of. And now Mangiacapre doing a good job going to the body. That's where the shorter boxer wants to go. He wants to get inside his opponent's wheelhouse, and then he wants to start ripping shots to the body to slow his man down. Mangiacapre, to his credit, has averaged about 7 points over his opponents throughout the duration. All of his 4 bouts in this World Championship Series so far have gone the distance. Now Mangiacapre's got Dos Santos up against the ropes, and Dos Santos is going to want to use footwork to get out of harm's way as he does and gets to the center of the ring and proceeds to pop out that jab. Riding the stick is Dos Santos' most effective weapon and path to victory here in this bout. This is the second round, and Dos Santos was up by a point coming into it. And now a lunging Mangiacapre, and Dos Santos with a nice shot on the break. The referee never called a break in the action, although it looked like one. Mangiacapre had his hands down, wasn't prepared for it, and it was smart. Protect yourself at all times is the motto in this sport. And here comes Mangiacapre, hard charging. It just seems as though Mangiacapre's game plan, at least through 2 rounds so far, is not going to be effective enough to get the nod here. He's just seemingly willing to wait for Dos Santos to come forward and maybe try and counterpunch him. However, that's going to be a tough task with the speed of Dos Santos, as is evidenced here. Dos Santos, more of the slick stylist. Mangiacapre's got some good body movement to his credit. It's just that he's not using it that much. That would be more advantageous in the defensive stance. However, as we pointed out, as the shorter boxer who happens to be down a point going into this round, Mangiacapre needs to get his offense on. His defense is not going to help him at this point. It may hold Dos Santos off, but he needs to score points right now. So now some good fancy movement, head and body by Mangiacapre. 10 seconds left in this second round, and as they clinch here in the center of the ring, Mangiacapre throws a right off the break, block, and a strong, fast, long right jab. The lead hand by Dos Santos is going to likely find him increasing the margin that he otherwise enjoyed through 1 round. Take a look at the action here in round number 2. There's that right hand by Mangiacapre, which is blocked by good defense of the Brazilian. And as you see the Brazilian with his back against the ropes playing possum, Mangiacapre taking a breather, getting some advice from his corner. And the score now 10-5. The Brazilian over the Italian going into the third stanza. And it seems that unless Mangiacapre can't come up with a different game plan, he will not be able to get through. And that game plan, as previously mentioned, would be to use his feet and get inside, get on the chest, cut off the ring of Dos Santos, and force Dos Santos up to the ropes if possible, and if not, make him pay with body shots by both hands. The Brazilian now finding his own rhythm. He knows he's up by 5 points in this round. He could choose to get on his bicycle and ride away into the sunset. However, it seems that instead of it creating that emotion in him, it's created quite the opposite. One of the killer instinct, and there's a big right hand by the Brazilian. He seems to now prefer to go on the attack, where he hadn't been doing so in the first 2 rounds. Perhaps he sees a wounded Mangiacapre, the last cattle in the pack, and that's the one he's going after now. And now, as the Brazilian continues with his confident style, he throws a right hand to the charging Mangiacapre, who goes down on a slip or a trip. The referee lets action resume. And now you see it's Mangiacapre in a place he really doesn't want to be, and that is on the defensive. He's down 5 points. He needs to be on the offensive. He needs to score. And as you see, once again, Dos Santos continuing to press the action in the final half of this round, which is the final round of this bout. And Mangiacapre a little stunned, almost like a deer in the headlights. He can't quite figure out the riddle, the matrix, the offensive juggernaut that is Dos Santos, particularly now in the 3rd round, where Dos Santos is starting to let his hands go a little more, confident in the advantage he has going into this 3rd round. And at this point, it would seem, based on the look on the face of Mangiacapre, as well as by his body movement. Hold on, we'll take a quick look at Dr. Wu, the gentleman responsible for all of this fine boxing that we see here today, the president of AIBA, who's made this event such a wonderful event for both boxers and fans around the world. And now back to the action here in the center of the ring. And once again, Dos Santos, Mangiacapre, he really just, I think he's resigned to the fact that he cannot figure out how to penetrate, how to go on the offensive. There's only 10 seconds left. And for that reason, we should see Everton Dos Santos move into the final round tomorrow evening. That's it, folks. That is the end of the 3rd round. As the headgear comes off, you see a little bruising, swelling under the right eye of Mangiacapre. That's no doubt from the long right jab of Everton Dos Santos, which stayed on him throughout the entirety of that bout. Good sportsmanship, as always, by these AIBA boxers, demonstrating the fine young men and athletes that they are. And indeed, Everton Dos Santos from Brazil will move into the finals. The bronze will go to Mangiacapre. 16-7 is the final. And as we get set to move into the home stretch here of this afternoon session, here at the Haydar Aliyev Sports Complex in beautiful downtown Baku, Azerbaijan, the home of the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships. Take a look at some action from that last round, and you just see how Dos Santos clearly had his man numbered. Good job of Mangiacapre doing what he could with the tools he brought to the dance. And as we get set now, we're about to get the introductions For the next bout, it will be a 75-kilogram contest. You see right there in the waning moments, the slip and the trip was ruled as such by the referee. Too little, too late anyhow, as the fate had already been decided of that contest. So now, as we see the Japanese boxer making his way, Ryota Murata from Japan, very experienced, has been to this show before. Back in 2007, the AIBA World Championships being held in Chicago, he boxed in the 75-kilogram weight class, where he lost to Sean Estrada of the United States, 17-12 in the second round. His opponent here is Esquiva Florentino Falcao from Brazil. 22-year-old. Falcao also a member of the World Series of Boxing Mexico City Guerreros. You see him there, ranked number 1, or excuse me, ranked number 19 in the first season with a record of 1-1. Falcao was last year's gold medalist at the Brazilian National Championships. Gallagher, Huseyev, Rizbayev, Pogo, and Tadic, and Tadic are the judges for this contest. Faith Madfoua from France is the referee. And Ryota Murata, one to look out for in this contest. He's 25 years old. He's already eliminated the number 1 ranked Abos Atoev of Uzbekistan in the first round of this tournament, as well as number 8 ranked Darren O'Neill of Ireland on Tuesday in the round of 16. We also know Murata could punch. As seen earlier this year at the Jakarta President's Cup, he had 3 RSCs, also known as TKOs, perhaps for those more familiar with that term, in that tournament. And you see the speed of Falcao quite evident here. Again, boxing in the southpaw style. Again, another stylistic quagmire. Murata boxing in the orthodox style. Again, look for see the positioning, how when Murata comes forward, he tries to keep his left foot on the outside of Falcao's right foot, and that's actually what caused the trip right there to Murata. These boxers are well experienced. They've seen all styles getting to this level. They've boxed all types of styles. And now good work by Falcao. For being the slightly shorter boxer, Murata is giving away a disadvantage, or rather an advantage, excuse me. He's disadvantaging himself by choosing to fight inside with Falcao, who's clearly the faster boxer. Murata with longer arms. Haven't really seen any use of the jab yet by Murata, and yet he seems to be willing and comfortable to go to work on the inside and being quite effective, at least early on. Some little baby uppercuts, which is how a taller boxer will be able to score once a shorter boxer gets inside. Those uppercuts are a sneaky punch by a taller boxer that often catch the chin of the shorter boxer. And Murata continuing to press the action now as he stalks Falcao around the ring. Some good work bumping right and left. Switching, pivoting his weight is Murata, landing shots to the body of Falcao. It's a pretty close match through this first round. The scoring seems like it will be fairly even, at least thus far. Good defense by Murata as Falcao throws lefts and rights both blocked. There's a sneaky left hand by Falcao, which may have slipped through the high guard of Murata, but Murata very aggressive in there. In the waning seconds of the round will give much for the boxers to think about now. We'll await the score. We expect it to be close. And there's Murata catching his breath. Looks a little worn over there. May have punched himself out a little bit in the first round. You see him hyperventilating just a bit. Be well served to take deep breaths now. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And here we look at some action from the first round as Murata was able to break through the guard of Falcao. And there's a nice bolo punch, not one you see that often here. It's a sort of a cross between an uppercut and a jab thrown by Falcao. Could only throw that punch from medium range, which is exactly where he was. And there's the score. After one round, it's all tied 4-4. Murata has been averaging throughout this tournament point decisions that saw him the 8-point victor. On the other hand, Falcao, guess, 8. So it's no surprise that while both of these boxers have been beating their opponents throughout this tournament by an average of 8, they're tied here at 4-4. Split the difference, and there's a big left hook to the body by Murata. Very crafty how he used his lateral movement and gets inside the guard of Falcao. Now Falcao, retreating just a bit, may need to rethink his game plan, because perhaps he thought trading with Murata would be a good move, an effective move. But so far, that seems to be where Murata wants to be. It's nice to see a big puncher from a taller man like Murata. It's not that often that the taller man is willing to punch his way through like that. They usually like to use their jabs and stay on the outside and control the pace, be the ring generals. In this case, Falcao can't even really do too much through the guard of Murata. And it looks like halfway through this second round, Murata may slowly be pulling away, if not in the points, perhaps in the emotional battle, in the battle of confidence. Chopping right hands by Murata, and down goes Falcao. He's pushed down, and the referee is going to let action resume. Look at that great defense by Murata. He's able to box inside against the smaller man because he's got a very educated double armbar defense. He's got his hands up high. See how when he comes in, he knows he's about to step into the danger zone, but he's completely undaunted. He keeps his guard tight, his elbows in, making him somewhat impenetrable to the flying fists of Esquiva, Florentino Falcao from Brazil. And this is the 2011 AIBA World Boxing Championships in Baku. And now Murata, having Falcao on the ropes and perhaps having taken a slight advantage here in the points through the second round, looking the more confident of the two boxers. And Murata continuing to charge ahead and dictate the pace of this bout. And it's not something that Falcao seems too comfortable with. Round number 2 is over. We will await the score from the judges at ringside. There's 5 of them. They count the punches dutifully throughout all 180 seconds of every round. Here's some action from that last round. You see that high, tight guard by Murata, and the Brazilian cannot seem to figure out how he's going to get inside. He needs to start using more lateral movement, and he needs to start bobbing and weaving his way in. As long as he keeps Murata off balance by continuing to move left and right, Murata will not be able to plant his feet and be able to land some of those bigger punches. The problem for him in that instance, and by the way, let's take a quick note here. The Japanese boxer, Murata, has indeed gone up 4 points now by a score of 12-8. So there's a brief pause here as the Brazilian boxer gets dried off by his corner. Murata patiently awaiting the beginning of this third round. It's the final round of the bout. Nice ripping right hand by Falcao to the body. He was able to get it around that elbow of Murata, and there it is again. Those can indeed be effective scoring punches if the judges deem so. They are landing with the proper part of the glove, the front, the knuckle part, cleanly to the body of Murata. But the hard-charging Murata continuing to stand in there and fight through. Now they'll clinch here up at the ropes, and the referee's going to center them again. And the Brazilian just very flustered. Murata's punches just keep flying like fists of fury. And they seem to be overwhelming the Brazilian, who'd sooner rather get away from that than stand toe-to-toe and engage. As we said earlier, Murata, a big puncher. He already has 1 RSC in this contest, and now a standing 8 count goes to Murata, the Brazilian trying to weather the punches of Murata, but the referee, always in the best interest of the safety and well-being of the boxer, is going to issue a standing 8 to the Brazilian. There's that big right hand while the Brazilian was up against the ropes, and the referee made the right call there. A minute and a half to go in this round. And now the Brazilian comes punching back. And there's a large Japanese contingency here in the complex, and every time the Japanese boxer Murata lands a scoring blow, even in that case where the Brazilian went down, you really hear it from the crowd, and it's only going to get louder in here as these semifinal bouts progress towards the finals tomorrow night. Over 500 boxers from over 100 countries started this tournament over a week ago. We're now down to just a handful, those select few that have, through hard work and dedication and good fortune, made it to the semifinal round. A nice uppercut by the Brazilian snaps back the head of Murata, but Murata, undaunted, continues to let his hands go. And there's another standing 8 count, and I got to imagine that if this round were to have more than 20 seconds left in it, it may not go the distance. The Brazilian is looking completely forlorn, and he's starting to wilt under the pressure, the tsunami that is Ryota Murata. That's it, folks. The Japanese man, Ryota Murata, lifts his hands in apparent victory. We'll get that official decision in just a moment. And there's the score, 24-11, a 13-point margin for Ryota Murata, who went up in the second and maintained that lead throughout the rest of the bout. Congratulations, you're going on to the finals, young Murata. And Esquiva Falcao, you grabbed yourself a bronze, well earned, good work. But only one man could win in a contest like this. The better man tonight, Ryota Murata. You could see from that last round's activities, Murata just the busier puncher. The smarter game plan. Instead of staying on the outside, he took it to the faster boxer in Falcao. And I think he just completely caught him off guard. The Brazilian wasn't expecting the pressure. And certainly, perhaps wasn't prepared to handle the power of Murata. 2 standing 8 counts in that final round. One more, the bout would have been stopped anyhow, per the rules of AIBA, in contests such as these in the elite division. And we now move on to the next bout of the afternoon. And this one should really be a barn burner. Two young sluggers, the Ukraine versus Romania. Evan Khytrov of the Ukraine in the red corner, and Bogdan Andrei Juratoni in the blue corner. There's Khytrov. He's banged his way through this contest. Now you see Juratoni, 21 years old. From Romania. The Ukrainian boxer has had 2 RSCs against his opponents in this tournament, one in the third, another in the first. And Juratoni has had one as well. Alvarado, Wang, Cowley, Gorney, and Bogdanovicius are the judges for this contest that will be counting the blows and the scoring blows round by round. Jones Kennedy from Brazil, he is your third man in the ring. Again, Evan Khytrov, out of 4 opponents in this contest, he's stopped 2 of them. That's a 50% knockout ratio. He beat Zoltan Harksa of Hungary with an RSC at 1:58 in the first round of their contest, as well as Nurishat Paziev of Turkmenistan in the first round of action at their bout at 1:59. Excuse me, it was the first preliminary round of action. It was the third round at 1:59 when Khytrov stopped him. Juratoni beat Emilio Correa of Cuba 26-24, as well as number 2 ranked Andrinek Hakabian of Armenia in the round of 16 to get here tonight. Juratoni, a real young prospect here. Wasn't world ranked coming in. I imagine that will change going out. He's a big banger who doesn't stop throwing punches. He's a tornado of energy. There's a big right hand. Both boxers boxing in the orthodox style. Both using very strong jabs and good body punching. As you can see there, Juratoni throwing his big right hand over the top. Khytrov unfazed, standing in there, the danger zone. Stiff left by Khytrov now. Going to try and keep Juratoni at bay, as Juratoni does a good job of bobbing and weaving his way inside, where he has an opportunity to land those big shots from up close. One-two combination by Juratoni falls short. He's going to need to get closer to Khytrov if he wants that combination to be effective. Nice baby right uppercut by Khytrov, scores to the chin of Juratoni. Juratoni unfazed. Have a feeling the entire bout will be contested right here in the center of the ring. These two guys could do it in a phone booth if they had to. That's just their style, it's their nature. They're both come forward type boxers. What happens when you pit an irresistible force against an unmovable object? We are going to find out. Juratoni from Romania, Khytrov from the Ukraine. This is the semifinals. .75 kilograms. Winner goes on to the finals tomorrow night. Loser goes home. Stiff jab by Juratoni and a big right hand by Khytrov rattles Juratoni, scores to the left temple. Certainly a scoring blow that one was. And the Ukrainian seeming to have a slightly more refined style. Juratoni a little more wild. Perhaps can be just as effective, but usually, generally speaking, fundamentals rule the day. Let's see if the Ukrainian did enough there to impress the judges. He certainly impressed me. Nice body work, a good punch by Khytrov to the belly of Juratoni. Nice baby hook by Khytrov right there. You see in that first round of action. Left hand to the chin. Khytrov looks like he just gets the better of Juratoni in that first round, landing the cleaner, crisper punches. And there's the score after one round. The Ukrainian 11, the Romanian 8. And here comes Juratoni. Right out of the gate in that second round, he hears the bell and he goes to action. Ripping a shot to the body, a left hand, and now the Ukrainian is able to catch Juratoni just a bit, slightly falls back, a nice straight left hand. Straight punches are always effective, more effective than hooked punches, at least when it comes to landing first. Reason being, less distance to travel. It's as simple as that. So it looks like Khytrov is willing to become, perhaps even creating the situation where Juratoni is forcing Khytrov to be a counterpuncher. Khytrov seems well equipped to handle the challenge. Again, both of these punchers very dangerous, and this fight could turn on one shot. Either one of these men can pack a wallop in both hands, and down goes Juratoni. A very crafty punch by even Khytrov, and that is it. The referee is going to call it off. This contest is over at 1 minute and 42 seconds of round number 2. Evan Khytrov staggers, he buckles Bogdan Andrei Juratoni of Romania with a very surprising punch, and you could just see the look of confusion. He just beats Juratoni in the hooking department. They say don't hook with a hooker. Even Khytrov apparently caught Juratoni with a good left hand, and he just beat him to the punch. I tell you what, folks, Evan Khytrov is going to be very tough to beat. He's going on to the finals. He is a very schooled boxer. And look at that. Another RSC. That will be the it's the fifth bout in this tournament. It's the third RSC for Evan Khytrov. That's a 60% knockout ratio for Evan Khytrov. Watch out for him as the tournament progresses. And again, we could see the replay from this last round. You're going to see both of the boxers throw their hooks at almost the same time, except the main difference, the decisive difference, is that Khytrov's is shorter and it's cleaner and it gets to its target before Juratoni's does. Watch here. They'll both throw a hook at the same time, and there it is. The left hook of the Ukrainian beats the left hook of the Romanians, and that is the punch that results in the RSC, also known as referee stops the contest. Again, in the professional ranks, it's known as a TKO, a technical knockout. The safety and the well-being of the boxers is always of primary concern, and they always say it's the punch that you don't see coming that carries the most impact, and that certainly was the case here tonight. Congratulations to Evan Khytrov. Good work by Juratoni getting this far, and we will progress into the final two bouts of this afternoon session. They will be contested at the men's heavyweight division, 91 kilograms. And as we see now, the Ukrainian boxer making his way in first. He is in the red corner, Oleksandr Usyk from the Ukraine. He'll be boxing Siahei Karneyeu from Belarus. 24 years old is Usyk, ranked number 10 in the AIBA World Rankings. He's got a dearth of experience under his belt. He boxed in Beijing. He got 6th place. He lost to Clemente Russo, the Italian legend, in the quarterfinals. He also boxed right here at the AIBA World Championships, however, in Milan in 2009, where he placed 3rd. He did box in Baku in 2009 as well, where he grabbed 1st at the AIBA President's Cup. He's been around the block. Sergey Korneyev has as well. He boxed also in Milan at the 2009 AIBA World Championships, where he lost to Hrgoje Sep of Croatia 16-10 in the first preliminary round. He's a 2-time Belarusian national champ. 2008 at the 81 kilograms weight class, and 2010 at 91. Here he is, making his way to the ring now. Sergey Korneyev beat Julio Castillo of Ecuador 25-13, who came into this tournament ranked number 5 in the AIBA World Rankings. He's 23 years old. Gets his mouth guard placed as he steps up into the ring. Ranked number 38 by AIBA. The judges, Zeuks, Meretniazov, Sinar, Lorado, and Bassi will be counting the punches from ringside. And the judge from Scotland, Mr. Andrew Caulfield. Now, it's very important to note here, this is indeed a rematch from earlier this year in the Ukraine, where Oleksandr was stopped by Karneyeu in the first round of the finals. However, he beat Karneyeu when they were younger and lighter at 81 kilograms in 2008 at the European Championships. There, Oleksandr outpointed him 11-2 in Liverpool, England. So this is indeed a grudge match in the truest sense of the term. The Ukrainian Usyk in red, the Belarusian Karneyeu in blue. Usyk in the second bout of this tournament won due to a retirement in the third round by his opponent. And likewise, Karneyeu in the fourth bout, the last bout of this tournament, he also was able to retire his opponent in the third round. So both of these boxers on even keel through 1 minute of round one. The action is starting to pick up a little bit. Usyk very strong. You could just see the striations in his deltoids and in his back, his shoulders. He's just really, really a finely tuned athlete. Sometimes being too muscular is a disadvantage in this sweet science. However, Usyk doesn't seem to have been disadvantaged much, having made it to the semifinal round, and he's boxing in the southpaw style. Karneyeu, orthodox. Some good movement by both boxers. Neither of them is standing in one place. Look at that quick lateral step by Usyk to stay out of harm's way of that big right hand. Karneyeu, you want to circle away from the power punch to the blind side, as they call it, when you're facing an opponent who boxes out of a different stance. And now Karneyeu starting to follow Usyk around the ring. Nice left hand by Usyk. Looks like it scored to the chin of Karneyeu. Punches out a strong, stiff jab, does Usyk. Nice roll by Karneyeu, and he eats another one, snaps his chin back. Karneyeu looking for an opportunity to dent big Oleksandr Usyk of the Ukraine. Wants to put a dent in his defense, which for the most part has been aided by some great lateral movement. He's also been showing a strong, educated jab, and as he prays to the powers that be in his own corner, we'll await the official score after one round. And there's the score. After one round, 7-2, Oleksandr Usyk from the Ukraine. This is the semifinals of the men's heavyweight weight division. AIBA World Boxing Championships here in Baku, Azerbaijan. Round number 2. And now with a somewhat commanding lead of 5 points going into the second round, that's going to give the Ukrainians some tactical advantages. There's a strong right hand, that jab, the educated jab of Oleksandr Usyk. He continues to throw punches both during his advance and during his retreat. And it looks like he's going to start to smother Karneyeu with both hands, and Karneyeu is going to need to weather that storm and stay on him. There's a nice body shot. Karneyeu throws to Usyk. Usyk complains through a hand gesture that it was a little low, however. The referee lets boxing resume. Nice left jab by Usyk, it seemed, as the referee was calling their attention away. Not sure if the judges will score that one. So it was a nice right hand by Karneyeu. However, he's going to have to throw more of them. He seems a little phased now by the pressure that Usyk is putting on him. And furthermore, he seems to be following Usyk around the ring, which cannot work in his favor. It never works in the favor of a boxer who has to follow the other one around. Usyk doing a good job of letting Karneyeu come to him and then picking him off with great counterpunching skills. Great defensive instincts. Karneyeu needs to get through that. And now Usyk, as we said, ahead on points going into this round. He's even starting to let his hands go a little more, perhaps a little emboldened by the advantage he had on points, is now going to maybe try and go in for the knockout of Sergey Karneyeu. Wild right hand by Karneyeu misses. Usyk, the train keeps pulling forward. If you got a jab in this sport, it's quite easy. Usyk is showing us he does indeed. Karneyeu seems like he's wasting a lot of energy in there, throwing punches with ill effect. He's punching Usyk from too far, from a long distance, and he's got the shorter arms. Far from efficient boxing, Karneyeu may just find himself punching himself out of contention, and there's a big left hand by Usyk on the ropes, and the referee is going to issue a standing 8 count against Sergey Karneyeu. And it looks like this is the way the fight has been headed since the second round began. A big left hand as the Ukrainian boxer clearly starts to pull away in this race by a few lengths now, I'm sure. And you can see now from that second round what started off in the first half of that round as Karneyeu following Usyk around the ring. Tides turned about the halfway point, and Usyk started to chase Karneyeu around the ring and landing punches at the same time. Gets himself a standing 8 count right there, and you could see the swelling under both eyes of Sergey Karneyeu as he talks to his corner. And there it is, 15-6. That was an 8-4 round for the Ukrainian, increasing the lead to 9.
Third round.
And Karneyeu needs to change his style if he's going to win this bout. He cannot continue, as he did in the second, to just follow Usyk around without throwing his hands. That little jab right there, that right hand from a long distance, they're wasting his energy and they're wasting his time. And Usyk knows it. Look how he comes in, he advances, he throws punches, he retreats, almost like Manny Pacquiao in there. With such great use of his feet does Usyk have. It makes it quite easy for him to score when he needs to and to get out of harm's way when he has to. And again, Usyk really just following. Look at the lateral movement. Great footwork, great slip there by Usyk. And he is completely dictating the pace of this fight. Great ring generalship. And Karneyeu seems like his only chance emerging victorious from this bout would have to be with a knockout punch. And it may not come in one punch, it may need bunches of punches in order to make its presence or to make their presence known. However, up till now, it doesn't seem as if Karneyeu has it in him. At least not against this opponent. He's very flat-footed, Karneyeu is.